I love cheap drinks and quality entertainment and also a lot of peanuts. So let's head to the Braying Mule. This bar seems nice. I just threw on whatever I had that was clean and headed out. It was a small pub, but lively. Obviously, look at all the people here. It had a real charm to it, but I wasn't quite feeling the relaxed vibe yet. I let out a small sound as someone bumped into me. Sorry! I quickly moved to the corner. I took a seat in the corner and tried to make myself seem smaller. The jostling and laughing of the other patrons was starting to make me feel out of place. Hey there! Someone was speaking to me. He had a bright, friendly smile and a fairly thick accent. He placed a beer in front of me. He looked down. This one's on me. Aw, so sweet. I have a feeling this guy is just so nice. I looked at the beer in front of me and then at the man. Was it that obvious that I was depressed? Oh, thanks a lot. I tried to say as cheerfully as I can. He slid into the seat in front of me. So, what's your name? My name is Cece. Nice to meet you. Hey now, no need to be so formal. Name's Strade. Strade? 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 I'm gonna go Strade? Please don't be mad at me. He was so cheerful, it was infectious. So what's on your mind, buddy? Oh, I've been going to school. It's been super busy. Most of my friends don't have time to come out anymore. Sounds like a drag. You haven't seen your friends a while now? I haven't seen them in a while, but fuck it. I don't need them to have fun. I grabbed the beer in front of me and started to drink it. It's no surprise you're feeling a bit down. No, but I'm starting to feel a bit better. Hey, Cece, that's what coming to a bar is for, right? Black means that they are like 0.2 seconds away from killing me, right? Like this man walked up, does not know me, doesn't know my name, where I came from, and is like, I'm gonna like stab this bitch right now. Do it right. I looked down at my mostly empty beer. You drank pretty quick. I didn't even notice. Hey, you wanna get out of here? Strade's eyes moved over my body for a moment, then back to my face. Alright, let's go. Strade brought me to an expensive-looking car. Hey, this is the same alley as the other place where we got kidnapped by Sano. Do you have your own car? I shook my head. No, I walk mostly. Strade smiled as he opened the door for me. I took a seat in his car and looked at the door. How am I not suspicious of the questions he's been asking? Like, do you see your friends a lot? Are there people in your life that are checking in on you? You're here by yourself. Do you have a car? Is there anybody that's going to notice a car sitting around for a while that I have to get rid of? But, it's fine. There was no handle. Is there something wrong? Why isn't there a handle on your car door? I had a tinge of panic in my voice. Strade just smiled at me and reached over, touching my head. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. Whoa, that. I started to panic and reached for the door again. Strade's arm reeled back and bashed my head against the side of the car door. Everything started to go black as I felt Strade's hand on my chin. Don't make so much noise when I'm driving. Save it for when we get to my place. I woke up groggy. What happened? It was dark. I started to breathe hard as I felt ropes around my arms. I couldn't move. I began to panic. Yell for help, yell for Strade, stay quiet. I feel like Strade isn't really gonna help us here. But let's make some noise anyways. Hello? Someone, help me! I listened for a reply. Suddenly I heard some loud thumping down a set of stairs behind me. You're already awake! Yeah, buddy. My lip curled in and I looked at the man smiling in front of me. He's like a puppy. He's just like a little puppy. Like a murderous little fucking chihuahua man. Did I really want help from him? Probably not. How are you feeling, Cece? What the fuck is going on and where am I? Don't remember? No, you smashed my head into the car door. We were having a chat, and I thought to myself, I would love to get to know this person better, so I brought you home. I shifted on the floor uncomfortably. You abducted me. Let me go. I narrowed my eyes at him and frowned. Ha ha ha. You're so full of energy. I can tell we're gonna have a lot of fun together. Was he even listening? Oh, I forgot. Before we get started, you want something to eat? Drink? Snack? Condoms? Love you guys. Get started? With what? I couldn't think too hard on it before I felt my stomach churn. I hadn't eaten since lunch before I went to the bar. Who knows how long it's been since then? I could use something to eat. I trust you. Sure. Hey, look at that. You liked that I'm eating. He walked away for a moment and came back with a wrapped bar. He unwrapped it and held it in front of me. My wrists were still tied. You're gonna feed me? I don't want you to starve. I didn't want to think about what he did want. I leaned forward and ate the bar while he waited patiently. I tried to finish quickly since the whole thing was so awkward. Not bad, I nodded, trying to smile appreciatively. Thanks. Or not. Strade pulled out a large hunting knife. Fear came flooding back as I squirmed nervously. What are you doing? Your clothing's in the way. Silly little goose. He shoved the knife under my sleeves and began to tear them apart. I'll do anything you want. No, stop, don't rip up my shirt. He completely ignored me. He moved very quickly and with a lot of force. I jerked and gasped as the blade grazed my skin a few times. In just a few moments, my tattered clothing was torn from me and I was left in my underwear. The cement floor was cold. I began to shiver. He leaned back and stared hard at me. I felt a flush creep up from my neck. You're so... He paused, seeming to search for a word. Be nice. Unbroken. I mean, it's not a horrible thing. What the hell was this guy talking about? What do you want from me? I wanted answers. I wanted something to make sense. What are you talking about? Why are you doing this? He bent down to his knees just inches from me. He rubbed rough fingers over my thigh. He was so close I could smell his sweat. I have a lot of reasons. He kept touching me. I was getting goosebumps. I want to. I can. We're gonna have a very intimate experience. I realized I was starting to shake. Have you ever screamed for anyone before? I sincerely regretted asking. I usually do. I didn't even have time to answer before he lowered the knife to my thigh. I tensed up as soon as the cold blade touched my skin. He left it there for a short moment as a tiny whimper escaped my lips. White-hot pain seared up my leg as he dragged the blade slowly through my skin. Ah! I immediately let out a shrill scream. As I finally gasped in a breath, I realized that Strade was looking at me excitedly. I feel like the screaming thing was what he was looking for. It might keep us alive a little longer. We'll see. He was really enjoying this. I could feel warm tears on my face. I glanced up at Strade. He was breathing harder. I saw him eye my legs again. Stop! No more! He raked the knife roughly through my skin again. See, it looks like a growl, like a little chihuahua growl, like. My protest became a wordless cry. I choked back a sob as he slashed again. He took a deep breath and pushed his fingers through his hair. I'm getting too excited. I stared at him in terror, trying to stop shaking and crying. He wiped his knife off on his pants. Oh no, look how much you're bleeding. He didn't look very upset. The pain was making me feel foggy. I looked up at him, bleary-eyed, trying to focus. You're not gonna last like that. He leaned in and smiled at me. Would you like me to stitch those up for you? I mean, I feel like you know the one I want to do. And the one I should do. Let's go the middle route. We're not gonna beg, but we also need to be stitched up. I didn't want him to touch me anymore, But he was right. I was bleeding a lot. If I wanted to live, I'd need him to help me. I glanced up for a moment and gave a sharp nod. Great! He walked to some cupboards on the other side of the room and retrieved a small medical kit. He sat in front of me and opened it up. He hummed as he pulled out a small curved needle and thread. The cheerful smile that made me feel so relaxed back at the bar was starting to make me feel sick. He poked his finger once with the needle, then pressed it into my skin. This is probably going to hurt. He barely finished his sentence before pressing the needle through my skin. I gasped and shook, squeezing my eyes shut. I tried to grit my teeth through the pain. He moved very quickly and surely, as if he'd done it 1,000,000 times before. I'm sure he has. Almost. He tugged the sutures on the last wound, making me gasp. Done! I sighed in relief. He held up a bottle and small cloth. I almost forgot. Alcohol! Just a second! He splashed the liquid over my fresh cut sloppily. I hissed in a sharp breath through my teeth. It burned. There we go. All better? I was trying to catch my breath. Hey, we got some health back. I couldn't trust myself to answer him without starting to cry. He didn't seem to care about my answer anyways. He was breathing evenly and straightened his shirt. I'll take that as a yes. He bent down again to touch my face. I've decided that I'll be good. That's German. This says, I'm going to savor this. I just stared up at him, trying to make sense of what he said. He gave me 2 light pats on the cheek. Get some rest, okay, Cece? He straightened up and stretched cheerfully, then walked towards the stairs. He's gonna leave me here? He thumped up the stairs and I called after him desperately. Wait, don't just leave me! I jerked as I heard the door slam. He did. He just left me down here, in the dark. I looked down at my legs, covered in red, stitched-up wounds. It still hurt like crazy. I need to keep it together. I should just try and get some rest. I woke up in a cold sweat. Just got hit with like 1,000,000 Price of Flesh flashbacks. I think this is the one that was drawn by the same person that did Price of Flesh. Like the art looks very similar. I could be wrong, but I think I'm not. The first things I became aware of were pain and the cold basement floor underneath me. I must have passed out. I squinted at the darkness around me. Still in this hellhole basement. I tugged against the ropes behind me. My wrist slid a bit. I tugged harder. It came out. Nice. I rubbed my sore wrist gingerly. My heart was pounding. Okay, I need to think about this. I can move around. What should I do? Maybe we should search for a weapon. I can't just sit around. I need to fight back. I stood up slowly, my entire body aching. Ow. The basement was full of potential weapons. Tools everywhere. I looked at several saws, an axe, a sledgehammer. Wait, how am I going to attack him? I imagined a few scenarios. They were risky at best. I decided that my best option would be to pretend that I was tied up as he left me. Or you can stand right in the doorway, like right next to the doorway with a fucking axe, and when he walks through, axe to the face. I feel like that's a pretty viable solution. He'll get nice and close, and then I'll... But I need something small. I searched countertops and drawers. One drawer was full of knives. Perfect. I picked out a medium-sized knife. Suddenly, I heard some movement upstairs. Shit! I scrambled back to my spot at the base of the pole in the middle of the basement. I sat on top of the knife and slipped my wrist back into the loosened ropes. I listened for a while but didn't hear anything else. My head began to drop and I soon slipped into a restless sleep. I woke up abruptly as something kicked my leg. Hey. I came to my senses and remembered where I was. Still sleeping? Aren't you looking chipper? You're all fresh and ready for a new day. Sure am. I groaned and pulled at the ropes. I stopped as I felt how loose they were. Right, the knife. I looked up at my captor. I needed to strike at the right time. So, how about something to eat? He bent down and waved something in front of me. It was another one of those energy bars. Yeah. I looked at the bar. I need my strength. Yes, please. Oh, so polite. I love how his dialogue has hearts in it. He leaned forward more, pressing himself against me. I shifted uncomfortably. He untied my wrists. He didn't notice that they were super loose. He leaned back and handed me the bar. I unwrapped it, eyeing him nervously. He kept grinning as he subtly flashed the knife at his hip. I got the message. I ate the bar quickly. I gulped and felt a little better. I flinched as he reached out. He ruffled my hair and took the wrapper. Good! Good girl! He tossed the wrapper on the already dirty basement floor. You know, I feel like we're really getting to know each other. I know it hasn't been long, but this sort of experience, it speeds things up. He leaned closer to me. It's the adrenaline. You're excited. I'm excited. He leaned even closer as he retied my wrists. I could smell him, sweat and some sort of machine grease. We're sharing something very personal. Ha! You look a little scared. I tried my best to glare at him instead. Ah, I can tell how you're feeling. He looked me up and down while picking his teeth. You're all tied up on the floor. Some guy's basement. And who knows what I'll do to you. Helpless. Right? I must have just been staring at him. I couldn't think of anything to say. I'll give you some control. What happens next is completely up to you. I saw him turn around and gather a few items from a nearby table. Here's your choice, Cece. What'll it be? Drill or hammer? I'm not gonna play this fucking game. I kept my mouth shut and glared at him. He stepped closer to me. You don't want to choose? He rested his boot on my cut-up thigh, then ground it down. I lurched forward in pain. My wounds began to ooze blood again. He rolled my leg under his foot. Ugh, can't take it, The responsibility of choice. He leaned down. I suppose some people weren't meant to have any control. He looked at me and I thought I saw a glint of sympathy for a moment. Don't worry, I'll pick for you. He grinned and looked at both tools. Then he raised the drill. He walked to a counter to plug in the drill. I gulped and pressed my knees together. He returned with the drill. Can I use that? He bent close to me and pressed the trigger, letting it whir in the air. I squirmed, my breath starting to get shallow. Don't. He lowered it to the skin on top of my foot, teasing it. No. I tried to pull my foot away, but he grabbed it with his other hand. Then he pressed the drill down, tearing through flesh. Ah! I screamed to the ceiling. As he pulled it out, I began to sob. Oh, he had a red heart, though. He shoved the drill back into the same hole on my foot. I let out a hoarse scream as blood sprayed from the spinning drill bit. He moved the drill around sloppily as I twitched and screamed. The pain was blinding. Everything was so loud, the drill, my own cries, and behind it all, Strade's chuckling. I thought I was going to pass out. He finally withdrew the drill. He was panting. I couldn't think straight. The room was spinning. He put down the drill and rubbed his thumb over my cheek. You're doing such a good job. He's crazy. He's fucking crazy. I looked down at my mangled foot and choked back another sob. He followed my gaze and ran his hand over the wound. Ugh. I winced as he played with my blood. He moved closer to caress my inner thigh roughly. He smeared my own blood over my skin. Fuck. Let's see if this way will kill me. And then if not, I'll go back. No? I can do something else, if you like. My eyes widened. That fucking knife. I didn't mean that. You should say what you mean then. He grabbed my thigh tightly. Wait! He stabbed into the flesh. Ah! I screamed as hard as I could. Oh, what does that mean? I haven't seen that before. I have a good idea. He moved the knife and crudely carved around my leg. I leaned back and cried in agony. There! I raised my head to see what he was talking about. I wish I hadn't looked. He was holding a chunk of my thigh. I looked down at the bleeding hole. We're not done. He grabbed my chin in his bloody hand and forced me to look back up at the piece of my flesh. Open your... Oh, no. Oh, that's fucked. Ugh! Oh my god. I don't really want to do that. No, I am not putting that in my mouth. I clenched my jaw shut and glared. Come on now. He jammed the bloody knife between my teeth and twisted it. My mouth was forced open enough for him to stuff the flesh into it. It was big. It filled my mouth. The taste of blood was overwhelming. I choked on it slightly. Oh, that was fast. I looked at him pleadingly. Swallow it. Damn it. Damn him. I breathed hard for a moment. With great effort, I managed to swallow it. I retched and coughed. I screamed and pressed my chin to my chest. I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. I looked up, breathing hard, beginning to twitch all over. Well, look at you. Are you all broken? I could hardly hear him over the sound of blood rushing in my ears. Would you just fucking kill me already? Oh, he looks a little taken aback. He let out a slow chuckle. Then he turned around and walked up the steps. What? Come back here! I strained against the ropes. I screamed again. I heard him thumping around upstairs, then a cheerful yell. I'll be down in a minute. I let out another frustrated yell. He came back down with his arms full. He had, oh no, a laptop, a tripod, a big camera, and some sort of little black cloth. He set up the camera in front of me. I continued to scream and struggle. That's perfect! He tied the cloth around his face. He kneeled down and grabbed my hair roughly, posing for the camera and holding up his knife. He moved right beside my ear and held the knife to my throat. I'm going to make you a star. I spent the next 45 minutes screaming. I was only half aware as he cut into my skin again and again, violating me in every possible sense in front of the camera. I thought it would never end. And we're all out of time. Thanks for watching. I could barely feel it as he slashed the knife across my throat. Finally. He made me a star. Thank you. It was my big break. Alright, so let's lean into the weird, I think, and see if that'll save us. What was that? Strade stopped what he was doing and started staring at me. I started to squirm a bit. He was staring so intently. He kneeled and got very close to me. What are you... Is he sniffing my hair? He's just like a puppy. What the sniffing? Is he a puppy? Is he like a werewolf? Oh, what is he doing? I screamed out and looked down. I didn't realize he had his knife out. He was cutting into my stomach. I was panting and sweating. I noticed he was doing the same. Hey, calm down. He moaned and smeared my blood over my chest. I started shaking. Stop, Strade. Something about the crazed look on his face made me start to hyperventilate. Oh no, it happened again. Uh-oh. He was untying me. He shoved me down to the ground. Don't we still have our knife? Before I could regain my bearings, he tore... Oh no. So obviously having this knife is goddamn useless because we just completely forgot we had it. Maybe we need to try to escape. I had to get the hell out of here. I stood up slowly, my entire body aching. Ow. There had to be some way out. I looked around the basement. There was no windows at all. No windows? Doesn't that violate some kind of fire code? I mean, isn't this a basement? I shook my head. That doesn't matter. I looked at the set of stairs leading to the only door. And Strade. Maybe this wasn't the best idea. Nah, we're gonna do it. It's the only way out. I'll just be perfectly silent. I can do this. I tiptoed up the wooden stairs. I searched it for a handle, having trouble seeing in the nearly pitch dark. There! I turned it, heard a deep click, and pushed slowly. I froze. That wasn't me. Strade. My blood ran cold. It was some young-sounding voice. Strade, the basement door! The panicked voice started yelling. What do I do? The door swung open, causing me to fall forwards, right into Strade. Look at this! Up and about, sneaking around. I felt like I was frozen. I could only stare at him with my mouth open. He leaned back and kicked me in the stomach. Just for a moment, I felt like I was suspended in the air, but I was falling. I dropped backwards, my body smashing on the stairs and finally the cement floor below. I tried to move, but pain flooded my senses. I was pretty sure my leg was broken. I heard slow thumping. No, I need to get up. I felt his hand clamp down on the back of my neck. Ugh. He yanked me upwards, sending a fresh wave of pain through my leg. No, please. I tried to protest, but it was hard to speak. Oh no. He dragged me over to a table and pushed me down on it. He grabbed the back of my head and ground my face into the wood of the table. I heard a click, then a much louder noise. No, please. It wasn't a table. It was a table. So loud. I heard a deep chuckle behind me. I screamed as he pushed my face closer to the blade. I felt a blinding pain and a sickening grinding. And then, nothing. He sawed your head in half. Thanks, Strade. Maybe we can find some food? Alright, I have to focus on surviving. I stood up slowly, my entire body aching. I realized I was pretty hungry. The tiny bit of food that Strade gave me must have been a long time ago. There must be more food where that came from. I spotted a little fridge off in the corner. I limped over to the fridge and pulled it open. Ooh! I covered my mouth. The little fridge had a bright light. My eyes adjusted, and I froze. No. There were organs. Hearts? In cheap Tupperware. Why wouldn't you want to spring for a good container for your organs? They're replenishable, replaceable. It's fine. I felt bile rise in my throat and turned to the side. I have to keep it together. I looked again. Next to the containers, there were a few cans of beer and a sandwich bag with what looked like a cooked steak. We know it's not a steak. But let's eat it anyways. I steeled myself. I need to eat. I slowly picked up the meat in the bag. I gulped and opened it. It smells like steak. All right, I made my decision. Come on. I shoved the meat in my mouth and tried to eat it as quickly as possible. It was a little tough, but it really did taste like steak. I'm pretty sure it was steak. I closed the fridge. I let out a heavy sigh. I heard some movement upstairs. Shit! I scrambled back to my spot at the base of the pole in the middle of the basement. I slipped my wrists back into the loosened ropes. I listened for a while but didn't hear anything else. Alright, so... Hello again, sir. Sure, we'll take your energy bar. Hammer. I guess. I raised a shaky hand and pointed to the hammer. Oh? The hammer. That's a great choice. He leaned forward and reached out to me, ignoring my flinch. Then he patted me on the head. You have good taste. He walked to a counter and grabbed a handful of nails. I gulped and tried to pull my knees closer. He sat close to me and dropped the nails on the floor. I desperately tried to shuffle out of his reach. He grabbed my leg. Kick him in his dumb face. No! wrist with my free leg as hard as I could. I connected with his arm and smashed it away. Whoa! He shook his arm. That'll leave a bruise. He never stopped smiling. It was extremely unnerving. He repositioned himself to cover my leg with his own. Then picked up a nail. Then positioned it carefully over my knee. He raised the hammer and watched my face. I was sweating and cringing. He slammed the hammer down. I screamed as the nail was forced between the bones in my knee. Stop! He hastily grabbed more nails from the floor. Ugh, you don't have enough holes yet. I tried to keep my breathing even. He left the nail sticking out of my knee and started to position another one above the knee. No. He brought the hammer down forcefully and was rewarded with another scream. I couldn't hold back. It hurt so badly. Oh, it's the same ending. Fuck. Ooh, drink and eat. Oh, that helped with the sanity. Okay. So we need to get our sanity. Oh, but that... Okay, so we obviously need to get our sanity high enough to survive the torture. And eating mystery meat is probably not going to help with that. So let's just drink the beer. Our sanity went up. And then hopefully we survive the torture. Eat the food. I don't remember if making a choice... No, it didn't affect our sanity. Okay. Alright. Okay. So we survived the initial nailing. Now we're getting somewhere. He breathed out slowly. He was shuddering slightly. He ran his hands over my leg, purposefully smearing his fingers over the blood trickling from the nails. Okay, so let's see if this drops my sanity all the way down. Yeah, it does. Okay, so don't make noise. You need more. No, I don't need any more. Don't be so modest. He placed another nail near the first one and drove it in. I cried and slumped forward. I whimpered into my lap as he fumbled for more nails. Whoops! I groggily raised my head. There's a screw in here. Oh no. Oh no. He pointed the screw down at my skin and raised the hammer. No! He swung hard and the screw tore into my thigh. I couldn't help but let out a fresh scream. Blood was running down my leg in tiny rivers. That's pretty stubborn, huh? He struck the screw again, driving it further into my flesh. I cried out weakly and slumped again. I couldn't take this. I can't. He leaned closer to me. Too much? What do we think is going to keep our sanity up? Obviously spitting at him. I have fucking had it with this psychopath. Fuck you. I spat at his face. Burn in hell. He didn't even bother wiping it from his face. I feel like the heart is a bad thing. I feel like the heart is just as bad for us as the black heart. Strade stopped what he was doing and started staring at me. I started to squirm a bit. He was staring so intently. Oh, okay. Well, that's not what we wanted. It hurts? I started breaking down. I didn't want to cry, but I couldn't hold it in any longer. Oh. Uh-oh. You're having a rough go, huh? He said as if it had nothing to do with him. I raised my head, tears streaming down my face. Yep, no, it's the same. Maybe if we stay quiet? I don't know what to do. We're just gonna say nothing. There was nothing I could do or say to improve my situation. At this point, I knew saying anything might just excite him. I just hung my head down. No? Then let's continue. No, just wait right there. Is that a joke? I tugged at the ropes on my wrists. I looked at the nails sticking out of my legs and winced. I was reminded of one of those middle school potato, oh, like the batteries, like the battery experiment where you like put the nails in the potato and wrap it in wire. Anyways, what do you think? He was holding some kind of, is that a car battery? I blurted my question, panic evident in my voice. Of course not. I felt slightly relieved. What kind of battery is it? 12 volts doesn't really do the trick. This is custom. A shiver ran down my spine. He placed the contraption on the ground. Strade. He looked my way but kept attaching the cables. Strade, please don't do this. I was shaking and trying to curl smaller, wincing as I bent my knee. Testing! He clamped the head of a cable to one of the nails sticking out of my leg. Then he fiddled with a knob on his battery contraption. The muscles in my leg contracted and pain exploded from the nail. I screamed involuntarily. He seemed pleased with the result. I looked pleadingly at him for a moment before seeing him crank the knob. Fuck! I let out an awkward squeak as most of the muscles in my body contracted. I felt like I was going to snap in half. I couldn't move and I could barely make noise. Finally, it stopped. I fell forward, coughing. I screamed and pressed my chin to my chest. Fuck! Okay, maybe if we pick the drill? Okay, I picked the drill, and then I screamed, and then I didn't say anything. And maybe now that we don't have nails sticking out, we won't be turned into a human battery. As soon as I was free, I tried to rub my wrists, but he grabbed my shoulder to fling me to the floor. I flipped sideways and caught myself with my elbows. I turned my head to look up at him. He was staring at me. No, not this again. He stepped over me. I felt a heavy boot push down on my shoulders. My face was pressed into the cold basement floor. I couldn't see anything. He ground the heel of his boot into my back. I wheezed under him. I felt the weight lift off me. I stayed down as I heard some shuffling behind me. I braced for some other kind of impact, but I felt him grab my hips instead. Uh-oh. And then I die anyways. Awesome. Fuck! So obviously, I am not getting anywhere with this. I'm just gonna keep getting butchered on a live stream. So I figured I would go all the way back to the beginning and see if there's any different thing I can say to really change anything. You first. Thanks, Strade. He was so cheerful. It was infectious. So what's on your mind, buddy? Yep. I see him once in a while, but with finals not as often. Schedule conflicts. That's such a shame. It's no surprise you're feeling a bit down. Yeah. Okay, well, we're not gonna say this. Go to the bathroom. That beer went right through you. Yeah, I'll be right back. I shut the door behind me and leaned on it for a moment. That guy was pretty nice. I should really get out of here though. I wandered over to the sink to wash my hands and looked at the running water. The sink was so loud, I almost didn't hear the door of the bathroom opening. We didn't lock it? I tried to move away from Strade, but he was too fast. Strade kicked me right in the stomach. Why didn't we lock the door? I felt my head hit the tile behind me. Damn it. My vision started to go black. All I could remember was that grin as I hit the ground. Okay, well, let's see if this makes a difference. We'll just be shh. I stayed silent and tried to understand my surroundings. It looked like I was in some sort of garage or basement. There were tools everywhere, and I smelled something coppery. My thoughts were interrupted by some slow thumping down a set of stairs behind me. Yep, we're awake. So last time we were sassy pants. We can chill out a little bit, maybe. Did I tie you too tight? He leaned forward and grinned. I can't help it. You look nice with some rope burn. I shifted on the floor uncomfortably. I think there's been some kind of misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Oh, no, I know what I'm doing. Oh, I forgot. Before we get started, you want something to eat? Drink? Get started? With what? Okay, so eating pulls our health up and drinking pulls our sanity up, and I feel like we've been losing sanity so fast, we should probably drink something. No problem. Okay, more beer. All right, let's drink the beer. He tilted the can to my lips and I tried to drink it quickly enough. I coughed a bit, but he seemed perfectly happy despite the small mess. Okay, see? Okay, so our sanity went up. I'm catching on. And there it goes. I'll do anything you want? Really? No. I gulped and nodded. Anything. He leaned back against the countertops and tapped the knife to his bottom lip thoughtfully, then grinned. All right. He circled around me and bent down to untie my wrists. I looked up at him questioningly as he leaned back against the counter. Take off the rest of your clothes. He held up his knife and waved it in a lazy threat. And stay on the floor. I looked at my clothing, then back at him with a slow nod. I pulled off my ripped shirt. He was watching and starting to look a little impatient. I slipped my pants down and out from under me quickly. I could feel myself getting redder. Should I take off my underwear? You can leave it on. For now. Awesome. He stepped forward and crouched close. I took in a breath as he thrust his knife in front of me, then stared as he flipped it in his hand, holding out the hilt to me. Take it. He's giving me the knife? I took it slowly and kept my eyes on him. He straightened up again and looked down to me. Cut yourself. My eyes widened. I looked slowly to the knife and at my exposed legs. You know we gotta do it to him. Well, if he's gonna give me his knife and untie me, I have to take this chance. I lunged forward and slashed at his leg. Whoa! His boots were protecting his ankles, but I managed to slice his calf. I could see blood slowly soaking into his pants. I admire your enthusiasm. He reeled back and kicked me in the chest. My head flew back and cracked into the metal pole behind me. I slumped forward. I couldn't tell if the ringing was from the pole or just my ears. I groaned quietly as I felt my wrists being tied again. Painfully tight. I blinked a few times and looked up at him. He was holding the knife. It's fine. He pushed his hair back out of his eyes. I'll do it myself. Okay, well, we're right back where we were. Okay, so let's get our... Do I want my health up or do I want my sanity back up? I think maybe sanity again. Yes, yeah, definitely sanity. Uh-oh, I think our sanity's too low. He tapped my leg with his foot where he kicked it before, full of piss and vinegar. Good. Tight. Oh, yeah, and then he feeds us, so... Yeah. Sweet. Okay, I feel like the drill might... But we're not gonna scream. Because he's not... We're gonna chill. Nope. Nope. Okay. We're gonna stay quiet. Oh, and then he makes us eat our leg. Fuck. I think... yeah. Fuck. Alright, well, let's just cut our stupid leg. I pushed the blade down and raked it across my skin. It was sharp. It went in deeper than I expected. I looked at my blood welling up in a line on my thigh. I began to tremble. Is that good? More. I bit my lip. I mean, might as fucking well. I breathed out slowly and pushed the blade down into my other thigh. I glanced up as I heard Strade breathing loudly. Come on. Deeper than that. No. I started trembling harder. I pushed the blade deep into my leg with a shuddering groan. He was panting softly. Your arm. I looked up at him pleadingly. He noticed my face. Just a bit more, Cece, and I'll let you go. You fucking liar. My hand was still shaking. Just do it, I guess. I slashed the blade across my forearm. I didn't mean to cut that deep. I looked wide-eyed at the blood pouring from my arm. I was starting to feel woozy. Strade. I gasped and held my arm, trying to slow the bleeding. I did it. He leaned closer, breathing hard. You're doing such a good job. He reached out and smeared some of the blood on my arm. Just a bit more. What? You said one more. You said one more, and then we're done. You're gonna let me go. The knife was feeling heavier in my hand. I don't know if I can. He cut my cheek and rubbed his forehead on my own. His command came in a quiet growl. Cut yourself. I lifted the knife again, sweating. I fucking guess. I wheezed and slashed the knife brutally across my own arm. I could barely control my limbs. I looked down dully. I must have hit something. Fuck. I heard a quiet chuckle through the ringing in my ears. You're really something. Uh-oh. Help. I couldn't keep my head up. The floor felt so cold. He wasn't moving. He just watched as I slumped into the pool of my own blood and laughed. God damn it. Okay, so what happens if we start but then, don't continue? Maybe do it, twice and then stop. Because you're a fucking liar, so I'm not doing it. I held the knife, shaking. It hurt. I couldn't do it. No? Can't handle anymore? I gasped as he bent forward quickly and swiped the knife from my hand. Wait! He was already behind me, wrenching my arms back around the pole to retie my wrists. Don't worry, I'll take care of the rest. He smiled and plunged the knife deep into my leg. I doubled forward, letting out a pained scream. He withdrew the knife and blood began to pour out of the wound. He wiped his knife off on his pants. Oh no, look how much you're bleeding. He didn't look very upset. Yeah, no. I don't want you to fucking stitch me up. I want to bleed to death on the ground. I am not gonna ask this psychopath to touch me. Fuck you, get away from me. Really? Are you afraid it'll hurt? I tried to back up as much as being tied to a pole would allow. Don't come near me. I don't want anything. He crouched closer. Sometimes things that you don't want will happen. He ran a finger over my largest wound. And there won't be anything you can do about it. He pushed his finger inside the cut without warning. I yelped in surprise and pain. No, fuck your stitches. I groaned and concentrated on breathing. Strade pushed his finger deeper into the large cut. Not enjoying it? No, I'm not fucking enjoying it. He kept moving his finger. Gross. The waves of pain were making me dizzy. This isn't enough. Something about the look he was giving me made me nervous in a whole new way. He licked his lips. God damn it. So I can bite him? You know me. Fuck this. I bit down as hard as I could, grinding my teeth on the blade. Strade howled out and pain seared through my lip. He pulled himself and the knife from my mouth with a growl. I tried to brace myself, but he kicked me hard in the gut. A biter, huh? I coughed, trying to recover from the hit. Then you can bite on this. I glanced up just in time to see him thrusting the knife towards my face. I couldn't move my head in time. He thrust the knife into my mouth, slicing my tongue and piercing the back of my throat. I tried to scream, but it came out as more of a desperate gurgle. Pain was blinding. All I could take began to cough as blood was running down my throat. Strade chuckled. Is it too big for you? He pressed the knife down to cut more of my tongue. I continued to gasp and cough. Suddenly, he yanked the knife from my mouth. I doubled over, coughing hard, the blood from my throat and lungs splattering on the cement in front of me. Now look, you're a mess. I slowly looked up at him. I was dizzy. I began to feel very cold. I tried to keep coughing, but the blood loss was beginning to make me feel very tired. I felt a hand on my head tousling my hair. Then I couldn't feel anything. Oh, we lived! We lived? What? Oh, shit! I didn't think we were gonna live through that. I thought we were gonna die. Well, let's drink and eat, I guess. It burned on my sliced up tongue and throat. I knew I needed to drink something, though. I forced the rest down, trying to ignore the pain. Oh, God. Maybe we shouldn't eat. Maybe... let's see if he'll feed us, actually. Because if he feeds us, then all I really need to do is drink the beer. And then we can save that sanity. Hey, Strade. I'm surprised you made it through the night. I am too, honestly. I looked down at all the blood dried on the floor and caked to my skin. He leaned over me. Let's squeeze in a bit more fun, yeah? I groaned and pulled at the ropes. So how about something to eat? Yes. Yes. Yep. Give me that. Tight. Oh, shit, but we still have to fucking pick... Yeah, I don't think we're gonna live through this. I'll toss what little pride I have left. Please. My voice cracked. Please don't. I don't want either of those. I had trouble keeping it together. I began to cry. No more, please. Uh-oh. Fuck! God damn it. No. Damn it! This stupid drill. I'll get something other than these other two fucking endings, I swear to God.